We got to get through this. I got to get back to the DNC convention. Got to get back. Got to watch.
Well,
Stuff's going on. Got to know. Got to stay informed. But hang out with us first on YouTube as we record our podcast. Why am I talking to the mic? We're not even on the podcast yet.
Because you're a radio regional
it's my
star
habit.
Professional.
That's a habit. And always assume the mic is hot. That's another rule that I learned very early in my radio career.
Hello, Albert. Hello, Linda. Hello, Army 63B. Jakob. Sheila. Rosa. Linda.
I have a cousin named Sheila Marie.
Lisa K. Tiffany Tippin, one of our very best customers. Rebecca. J-Bo 1962. Anatul. Jenny. Or Yenny. Dana. Brooksy O. Hello, Julie. Oh, Christy Kincaid Norris. Some of our very best customers. Hello, Jeff, Vicky, Kelly. Love y'all desperately. Everybody file into the auditorium. Take your seats, please. Hello, Mel. Love you. Hello, Evangelina. It's a beautiful name, Evangelina.
It is.
Hello, Annabelle.
If we ever had another child, we would name her Evangelina.
Omar, Michelle.
Or Omar.
Dana. Kathy. Hello, Megan. Wow, we got a very nice looking audience today.
Nice group.
Your avatars and emoticons are beautiful.
All right, you ready to get going?
Hey,
I would say hey to everybody, but my vision's not good enough to see. I see blurry little figures there, and I see some heart emojis, and a smile emoji, but I can't make out names. Alan's eyes are so much better than mine.
Well, I had mine surgically repaired.
I did too, but if you get LASIK, here's the thing about LASIK, it does work, but they tell you when you go in for surgery, eventually you will need reading glasses.
And that's true.
So distance, I'm fine. I can pass a eye test for, getting a driver's license renewal or something, but I just can't see that little tiny font. So I'm not ignoring y'all. Alan is just still with like eagle eye vision.
Hello, Kelly 1177.
But I would call you all out by name if I could see you.
Patty.
I just can't.
Okay.
You ready to go?
Well, here's that.
My husband's in charge of the podcast content tonight.
That means it is going to be fabulous.
Tight. We're going to keep it tight.
Oh, it's going to be so tight.
He's not going to look at me and say, so, what else you got, babe?
No, I will say that.
Because I don't have nothing. It's all on him tonight.
Okay.
We've had a busy week so far. Except for the time except for today.
Huh?
I said I've had a busy week, but what did we do today?
Oh.
We parked it, but we had a good time. We had a good time.
It's like freaking Jabba and Mrs. Jabba. But we'll talk about that. Ready? Give me a little something.
Test 1 2. Test 1 2.
Don Keydix, please pick up the red courtesy phone. Don Keydix, please pick up the red courtesy phone. Donkey Dix.
All right, there's that. Press the button, babe.
It's not the last time that the word dick will be said on this podcast, too. Because I got called one today. But we'll get into that. All right.
Welcome to, it's another episode of our podcast called A Sandwich and Some Lovin'. I'm Kelly Raspberry Evans. This is my husband and my partner and my husband. Yes, this is Alan Evans.
Hello, Alan. A train in the house.
Yeah. Right before we hit record, he brought up something that will come up later in the podcast, and I'm already kind of seething at it, but it's okay. It'll be fine.
Why are you seething?
It's like that Kelly claps back thing.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes
is that
I think
the bane of your existence? The truth hurts, doesn't
I think
it?
It's funny. Sometimes I'm like, come on.
Seriously. The truth hurts.
I live in constant, looking over my shoulder because he's going to whip out that cell phone. And I know what he's doing,
Yeah. I'll whip it out.
So yeah.
I'll whip it out a lot.
Yeah,
I'll
we'll
document
do that.
I'll document what's
You do
happening
that.
around here.
So we've obviously got back another episode of Kelly Claps.
There's
Back
2 of
coming
them.
up.
And
Two.
they came today, guys. They actually happened today. It was like a shotgun blast.
So ridiculous.
From a double barrel side-by-side shotgun. It was like a bam, bam, like one right after the other.
And I don't know if I should act like I don't care and then maybe you'll stop or just, keep trying to defend myself. I don't know. We'll see. It's coming up.
You can't defend the truth. But we'll get into that. We'll get into all that. Yes, we will. What else are we going to talk about, babe?
Well, as I was telling to, every Wednesday night, typically, there are a couple of exceptions. We record our podcast with a YouTube audience watching us do it live. So we were talking ahead of time before we hit the record button that tonight it's all on Alan. Alan is bringing the content. He's got the schedule. I'm going to, participate. I'm going to chime in, but he is the captain of this ship. Because when I found that out, it's like, I'm going to turn this into back in the old days when we first started our podcast.
Where I was skipper and you were Gilligan.
And we would drink every podcast. So I poured myself a nice glass of 14 Hands.
Hello, Hand.
14 Hands is a good wine, not expensive if you're going to stay at home and you don't want to bust out the expensive stuff because you're the only one drinking. 14 Hands is a good one. You can get it at Target. You can get it at Costco. You can get it anywhere.
I should tell the Hello Hand story someday. Do you remember that
I
one?
don't think you should.
Why? That's a classic.
It's a classic, but the people involved and it's vulgar.
Okay. Well, hit me up on social media in the DMs, guys, and I'll tell you. Somebody said something about, we posted a picture, or I posted a picture of us at Oaked Barbecue Restaurant, our new barbecue restaurant. We went to go see it the other day, and we were taking a tour.
Yeah.
And I posted a picture of me with my hand around you.
Yeah.
And because of the way the picture was taken, my hand looked like giant.
How did I look though?
Well, your head looks smaller than my hand. Yeah, than my hand.
Good, because I've been accused of having a large head.
Well, you do, but my hand looked way bigger than your head.
Good.
And then my head was behind your head, and I looked like a little pea-brain peanut head. Yeah. And then somebody said, "Wow, that's kind of a creepy picture. Look how big your hand is." And I said, "Hello, hand," but they don't know the story.
They don't know the story. They don't know the bit.
So I'll someday tell that.
Maybe there's some sort of private Zoom thing you can do.
For our very best customers where they have to pay?
Yeah. No, maybe not. We don't want to ask for, because this is just a vulgar, silly story, but
I can tell it.
No, I don't want you to. But what you could do is
in Vegas.
You could have
at the bottom of an elevator,
like certain, people that really want to hear this vulgar story. They can join you. They can stop it, Alan. They could register to win a chance to go to like a special Zoom meeting, and you can tell that story.
You're building that up like the Al Mack story.
I don't want you to tell it.
Okay. Well, I won't tell it, but here's what we are going to talk about tonight. Kelly and I, at first I was very skeptical. I walked in, I said, "Kelly, what are you watching?" She said, "I'm watching a show called Selling Sunset." And I said, "This looks like a bunch of crap." I sit down, start watching it for about 5 minutes, and I sat there for the next 3 hours.
We binged the entire first season this afternoon.
I am so a fan of Selling Sunset.
We would have pressed play on season 2, but we both had some work obligations we had to get to. I was like, oh my gosh, I could sit there and watch another season of it.
So we are going to give our thoughts on Selling Sunset, that whole bit, and the Kelly's clapbacks came as a result of us watching Selling Sunset. I was in a conundrum the other day. I want to talk about bull pizzles again.
Yes.
So I put some stuff out on social media. Got a lot of feedback, so I was going to share that back with our audience.
Bull pizzles are treats you can give your dog. They're dog chews, and they're made from bull penises.
You got to change your voice, but yeah, they're made.
I'm not ashamed to have that played back at some point in my political career.
And then the Kelly's clapbacks. We're going to talk about our Oaked contest, and something very momentous happened this week at the restaurant. They dropped my wood.
Huh?
So I was there when this happened, and I overheard there was a buzz, there was excitement.
You were there?
Yeah.
Where was I?
People on the street. There were people on the street kind of seeing this happen.
Oh.
I overheard a lot of chatter when this happened.
Okay.
So I'm going to give you the top 10 things I heard when my wood arrived at Oat.
You know what? I'll be hearing it for the first time too, so I'm excited.
And we have letters if we have time, but we probably won't.
We always have time. We can we can make this podcast as long as we want, right? You know, the powers that be, Sean, El Presidente Sean.
Well, hey, Kelly, this is Sean Nunn.
Yeah.
Hey, y'all stop that bullshit. I don't want anybody saying that El Presidente stuff. You need to nip that in the bud.
Well, that's what we call him because we know how much he hates it.
Is that a good one?
How many minutes do you say a good podcast should be?
Well, a good podcast should be about 20 to 30 minutes. And by the way, y'all have 5 sponsors tonight. Y'all can figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're like, yeah, thanks, Sean.
Anyway,
yeah.
So we could technically go as long as we want, but apparently people's attention spans don't last that long from what we've been told by research.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Here in the digital age, people can't focus on anything.
Well, what do we know? What do we know?
We know nothing.
But real quick, though, before I know Alan's going, well, maybe I'll save this for when you get to letters. Somebody asked a question a few weeks ago.
No, go ahead.
Okay, about the podcast thing.
Yeah.
Somebody asked a couple weeks ago, and I was about how you start a podcast, and hopefully she's listening tonight. I don't know where that letter is. Maybe I can find it buried somewhere. She asked, about starting a podcast. I think she said, was she like out of a job temporarily because of coronavirus and looking for a new direction or something like that? I might be mixing up people's letters. But she said, how do you start one? And I was like, well, it's hard for me to say because ours started because my boss bought this, podcast situation and started asking everybody in our office who wants to start a podcast, and just
hey, you got to start a podcast.
The equipment and the capability,
Amen.
And, if we needed editors, we probably should take advantage of that.
But George,
just post it raw.
But George, we don't have any editors. We'll just give it give it to Robert.
We just post it raw. We I think in the history of our podcast, we've probably had to edit it maybe twice. Because Alan said somebody's name he shouldn't have said. It was always because of you.
Yeah, it is.
Always.
It is actually.
Because I'm a professional.
Another time I think I offended somebody.
So we've had to go back just like a couple times. But, normally whatever you hear on our podcast, it is completely raw and unedited. Other podcasts do like production, sound effects, movie clips and things. That ain't us.
We have sound effects. I'm going to do some tonight.
Yeah, I don't even know. But anyway, come to find out, there is a big podcast convention coming up, and it's called, and our boss actually bought it.
No, I bought it.
It's called Podcast Movement, and it's usually this national convention, but because of, the pandemic and all that stuff shutting down, it's all going to be virtual this year. So if you go to podcastmovement.com, you can find out how you can register. I believe tickets start at $99 for all these. They're at all this stuff, seminars and things, but they will teach you everything you need to know if you want to start your own podcast. What equipment to get, how you get your podcast out there to the masses, how you can even monetize your podcast, things that I don't know. But it's also, if you do have a podcast, they have seminars for that to tell you how to build your brand and things like that. But even if you're starting from scratch, you can go to podcastmovement.com to get registered. It's coming up this fall pretty soon. I don't have the dates in front of me. I apologize for that. But I do know that, I'm on the Kid Craddock Morning Show.
Nationally syndicated.
Yeah. And if you go to kidnation.com,
Kid Nation,
KIDDnation.com, you can actually register to win a couple of tickets. Go to the Podcast Movement seminar.
Who will they see at Podcast Movement seminar?
You're asking me things I don't know.
Oh.
I'm just telling you what I know. But it's going to be people who have done this, experts that know what you need to do, how to get started.
So we're not going to be there.
Maybe they might ask me to be on a panel.
You said experts.
Well, they might ask me from, our experiences. We've done this now for 3 years.
They'd ask you. They won't ask me.
You're on the podcast with me,
It
Herman.
doesn't matter.
Anyway.
Promo code Kelly.
Oh,
Kellie.
Have we tested how people feel about Alan's butthurt feelings every time Kelly is the code and not Alan? Somebody test that.
I can't believe how sensitive he is. He's always complaining about that. I've heard that before.
It is a little annoying. So anyway, there you go. I wish I'd had that information in front of me a few weeks ago when that letter actually came up on our podcast. But go to podcastmovement.com if you want to find out more.
All right. Very good, babe. All right. Today we started that show, Selling Sunset. Fascinating. If you haven't watched it, it's on Netflix. It's set in Southern California. It's about a boutique real estate company owned by these two brothers, twins, and they work in a really high-end area in Southern California, in Los Angeles, the Hollywood Hills, the Sunset Strip, Beverly Hills, and they sell real estate in this little area. Yeah, and I kind of had an idea that this show was out there. I had never heard of it. Well, it's in season 3 right now. But I listened to another podcast, somebody I discovered recently, if you watch any of the Bravo shows, Real Housewives, anything of that nature, it's everything iconic with Danny Pellegrino. I laugh out loud. I giggle. She does. Is so she does. Funny. And I love him. And I don't, I'm not trying to suck up to him, but if he's listening, hi, Danny. Anyway, he did. I love you too, honey. But he makes me laugh out loud. Anyway. No, keep going. He does reviews of, Bravo shows and things like that, but he was also reviewing Selling Sunset. Apparently I don't watch, $1 Million Listing is a Bravo show. Mm-hmm. And these twin brothers apparently were on $1 Million Listings or whatever. And they went over to Netflix with this Selling Sunset series. Now, the reason I heard about it recently was because one of the characters on the show, one of the realtors, Chriselle, she was married to Josh Hartley, I believe is his name, from This Is Us. And it was all in the tabloids that he told her, I filed for divorce by text. And apparently that played out in season 3 of Selling Sunset, which just dropped recently. This is all news. I'm not spoiling anything for anyone. Well, then on top of, so I heard about that, but I'm like, I don't watch Selling Sunset. Why do I care? I don't watch This Is Us. Why do I care? But then I heard Danny Pellegrino say, you guys, if you don't watch the show, give it a chance. And he even said, let me tell you, Alan, he said seasons 1 and 2 were kind of a dud. Really? He's loving season 3. Okay. So today I'm like, Alan won't sit down and watch anything with me. I'm just I'm just going to sit down and I'm going to see what she didn't even ask me. I didn't even ask him. No, I just walk in there and she's watching TV. I'm like, hey, what are you watching? Because I knew this was a show. I just knew he wouldn't be interested. It's a reality show. I just didn't think you want to watch Real Housewives with me. Anything? Well, no, but let me add this little tidbit. And this doesn't really fit, I don't think, my character, but in the day, I was a big fan of The Hills. See, this is it. In the day, I was a big fan of The Hills. And I wasn't. So I literally turned it on and it was doing I found season 1 because it's, like I said, 3 seasons are up. We were late to the game on this as usual, but it was doing a preview. So you missed the previews. And the show literally started and he walks in the room and says, what are you watching? I said, well, it's this reality show, Selling Sunset. It's about, real estate. And I'm like, well, he's here. I'm going to try to get him on board. I said, I've heard it's basically like real estate porn. They show all these mega mansions in LA, ones that you see in the hills and you wish you could go inside. So it's sort of like that. He sits down and at first he's like, oh my gosh, this is awful. And then he's like, hey, this is sort of like The Hills. Wait. And the next thing I know, I look over and he's like looking at the screen like, shh to me when I try to comment. And he's like, I can't believe she just did that. I can't believe they put up with that. And he is in. I'm in. He is bought in. We binge watched the entire first season this afternoon. The entire thing. And we would have kept going with season 2. But it's like, we both had some work obligations we had to get to. It was 6:00 by this point, 6:00 at night. And so I was like, I've got to put it on. I've got to stop it. I've got to
Stop.
It's fascinating. LA,
Fascinating.
LA is like, it's like another planet. I mean, I'm kind of stating the Captain Obvious there. California is like another planet,
Right.
but it's just like a whole nother world.
And we all have hot sports opinions about this show.
Yeah, and to me, it's just and just seeing the houses.
It's crazy.
It's incredible, and like how they're decorated and all the cool furniture and
and
the
we were looking at it
and
and
landscaping and
like a $5 million house in LA. We're like, that same house in Plano, Texas, maybe $600,000 or $700,000, $800,000 in our, based on when we were, I mean, seriously, you're paying for the real estate, the view and stuff is crazy.
They show a house about 4,000 square feet, 5 bedrooms, 5 bathrooms, a big house, but ones that are pretty common in DFW, in the Plano and Frisco area. $5-6 million
and more.
But then there's one that's 20,000 square feet, that big custom one, and they think it's going to sell for 40 million.
Yeah, that's the big drama.
Yeah,
and I know a lot of you are like, "Oh, Kelly, we watched this already, and this is old news, and you already know how it plays out." But we don't.
Yeah, we get onto things late that.
We're very late to the game on this, but it's fun if you haven't watched it.
It's fun to watch. It just reminded me of The Hills because there's so much drama, and let's be real. I mean, all the chicks are kind of,
they're kind of good.
I mean, they're kind of hot. Yeah, I mean, they're kind of hot.
Well, if you're going to sell real estate in LA, it's like, pharmaceutical sales. You got to be hot, right? So they're all hot.
I mean, they all look like models.
And the 2 guys that own the agency are about 5 foot nothing. They're handsome men. They're just really tiny men. And it's funny because all these women walk around all day in red bottom Christian Louboutins in the daytime, looking like they're going to, ladies' night at the club. And that's how they go around selling real estate. It's really fun. And there's a woman on there that's 30. What was she? 38.
Yeah.
And she's engaged to this 25-year-old man, and I'm just sitting
Kelly
there.
hates this guy. Kelly hates this guy.
I don't hate him.
Kelly very much dislikes this guy.
I don't hate him. I don't like this relationship. And you could it's just bad. And I'm like yelling at the screen. And at first Alan's like, you're so crazy. And then he's right there in it with me.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of fun. We enjoyed that.
They don't go together.
They don't. And listen, before Alan, I dated a guy 16 years younger than I was, and I had a really good time with him.
That must have been
much as this woman is with this little boy.
Must have been hung like a donkey.
I had a good time with him. 16.
Babe, what does that mean?
We had a very lovely time, but the whole scenario where like she's like, well, we'll cross. Like he maybe wants to have children in 5 to 10 years, and she's crying.
But he's 25.
He's 25, and she's not. She's pushing 40, and she's like, "Well, I'll just get engaged to him, and we'll cross that bridge when we get to it." No, that's an immature perspective on relationships. But anyway,
but you can't get a word out of the dude. I mean, she's asking him about.
Well, he's not. Maybe he didn't
get married.
Maybe he didn't plan on being a reality TV star. People react differently on cameras. They shut down.
What color wedding do you want? Where do you want to get married? He's just like, I got nothing.
Well,
that's girl. He said that's girl stuff.
Yeah, it's true. The average man doesn't care about.
That's not what I said when you were asking me questions.
I know, but the average man doesn't really care that much.
That is true. But I told Kelly, we were having this conversation while we were watching this. I said,
they're planning a wedding, the 25-year-old and the pushing 40 girl.
I said, every dude has this opinion, but dude, say something. Add something to the conversation.
When you see your fiance is that upset, but then she got unreasonably upset. She goes from 0 to 100 really quickly. But as Alan reminded me, this is scripted reality. And as we learned from, Lauren Conrad, well, not Lauren Conrad so much as Kristen Cavallari.
Audrina Partridge.
All that nonsense, that a lot of this stuff was staged. They bring in people. And even I could tell that wasn't a real person looking at the house. If a person came in all really ridiculous with a dog name, what was that dog name? Like Avocado or something?
Kangaroo.
The dog's named Kangaroo. And she comes in with this flowing dress. She was an actress. And she was an actress up and down.
And then she said, I need a house because I need a bigger closet.
Yeah, my wardrobe's
outgrown. Yeah. And then my husband's fat.
And my boyfriend's fat. fat.
No, my boyfriend's fat.
And I'm thinking about having a baby. And it's just like, you're an actress. Okay, take it down a notch.
Wow.
And it's just some of that stuff. But if you just go ahead and like throw that out the window, it's fun. So we recommend Selling Sunset.
It's fun to watch.
It is fun to watch. You know what else is fun to do? When you're not, a slave to your computer right now because, you're working from home. You've got things. Oh, man, you guys that are, trying to teach your children at home right now with everything being on Zoom classes, God bless you. It was so, I'll get to my experience with my daughter in just a minute. But when you need a time just to kind of reset, have a minute to yourself and just kind of check out and have some fun, you know what I'm going to recommend? Getting your little cell phone out and clicking that app for Best Fiends.
All right. Best Fiends.
Best Fiends. It's fun. Guys, Best Fiends is a game that you can just like I said, it's fun. It gives you just a little bit of a challenge, but it's not one of those games where it's so difficult where you get frustrated and you throw your phone across the room. You've all been there and done that. But with Best Fiends, if you're not playing it yet, you really should be. Hours of fun you can enjoy really anytime. I'm hooked. And if you're anything like me, you're going to be too. And even if you don't have Wi-Fi, I know that's true for some people, you don't have to worry about that. You don't need an internet connection to play. And like I said, the puzzles are somewhat challenging, but not like so ridiculous that you feel like, a dum-dum. And they add new levels all the time because so many people have discovered Best Fiends. They're like, oh my gosh, I just want to keep playing. And so they keep adding new levels. So you never have to run out. Have you ever played a game where you're like, oh, that's it? Not with Best Fiends. Now, right now, I just want to tell you, everybody, I conquered the sludge path. It took me a minute.
Yeah, you did.
It took me a few tries, but I got it.
Yeah,
I conquered
did.
the sludge path. And now I'm moving on to fake moss. The fake moss level, I've got to clear the moss. I've got to open the crates, but I have upgraded my inchworm, named Miles, to level 8. You Best Fiend enthusiasts, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And with that upgraded power with Miles, I know we're going to defeat the slug and I'm going to get past the fake moss level.
Yeah, you are.
I am. It's fun. You can play, when you have 5 or 10 minutes, you can sit down for an hour, whatever you want to do. Best Fiends is the game you should be playing.
And Best Fiends has thousands of levels already with new levels, events, and characters added every month. Like Kelly said, it's hours of fun right at your fingertips, and you can even play offline. 100 million downloads, babe, and tons of 5-star reviews. Best Fiends is a must play. So go ahead, download Best Fiends free on the Apple App Store or Google Play. That's Friends without the R. Best Fiends. Collect those characters, babe.
Kill them slugs.
Kill them slugs.
That's his favorite thing to say to me every night. That's the way I unwind before I go to bed. And real quick, my daughter has been texting me nonstop since this podcast has begun. She's probably asking me if she can go somewhere with her girlfriends later. But we've started online school. Our kids are all in online school, but my daughter. So she was at our house last week, my hour. I'm so afraid of offending someone if I say the wrong thing. Step parent's wrong. Bonus mom is good. Kind of sounds kind of corny. I don't know. Anyway, you know what I'm saying. So the very first day of school, I woke her up late. The second day of school, I woke her up so late, she missed her entire first class. That's when we realized, set your alarm clock. Just set your alarm clock, Emma Kelly. It's not my responsibility. It's just been a nightmare. So now she's at her dad's this week. It was so bad. So he's getting her on the right path because I'm working. I'm doing a nationally syndicated Kidcratic radio show. And right when it's time to wake Emma Kelly up for school, I'm in the middle of the Showbiz Top 5. And it's hard. And
I think I was taking the I was taking them to school.
Yeah, because your kids are learning, the boys are learning virtually. It's just like all these moving pieces.
Happened, yeah.
But I am very lucky that my daughter, I know a lot of parents are starting back to school. It's all happening in different phases depending on where you live in the country. But the majority, I think, of everybody is online. I'm very, very lucky that my daughter is in 8th grade now, and I don't have to stand over her and make sure she's doing the work. My job was just to wake her up. But
Mm.
even though she's really supposed to do that herself. But these parents, with like kindergartners, this is their first year or
I
first
know.
grade.
Gosh.
And it's so frustrating. I can't even imagine what that's like. So my heart goes out to you guys because I have it really
I feel
easy.
bad for all the kids.
I have it real easy because my daughter just like, hey, are you awake? Okay. And that's about the extent of my involvement in her schoolwork.
Yeah.
So we're very lucky.
Yeah, we are. Yeah, my kids are doing, or our kids are doing a kind of a mix between a little time at school, but it's just a small group of kids. They all have masks and headphones on. Cole was telling me about it, and I was just like, man, I don't know. That just doesn't sound like a lot of fun. But he seems to be okay with it.
Yeah.
And then he does some online at home. So yeah, it's not ideal for anybody right now. Whether you have a kid that's at home or maybe in your state, some kids are going back to school.
I think some private schools are
Yeah.
doing in-class learning, and it's all different
Neither
with social
situation's
distancing.
great. But
Yeah, it's just, man, don't we all just want it to go back to
we'll get through it.
good?
We'll get through it. Hey, we're
We
going
will.
to shift the karma of the podcast back to fun and
All right.
ridiculous. So, okay,
Yeah, we don't like to bog down.
this is kind of a public service announcement. So, Zoe, our new rescue dog, miniature schnauzer, she is a chewer. I mean, she likes to chew.
Yeah.
So
she likes noses and toeses.
Yeah, she likes biting your Mr. Big Toe. She likes nibbling at your nose.
I've never seen anything like it.
But so we always have stuff around on the floors. We have toys. We have chew toys. Her favorite chew toy is something called a bully stick. And I don't know how I got on these things, but I think I just bought a pack to try them. And she ended up loving them. I mean, she'll sit there for hours and gnaw on these bully sticks. Problem is, they're super expensive. I mean, for a pack of like 6 bully sticks, it could be $20, $15 or $20.
Yeah.
And they're 6 inches long. And there's only maybe 5 or 6 of them in there. She can go through one bully stick in a couple of hours.
Why are they so expensive?
I don't know. So I went over to PetSmart the other day to buy more chews for Zoe. And I'm just shaking my head. I'm looking at all the bully sticks. I'm like, man, I ain't going to pay that for all those. Certainly there's somewhere cheaper. So I just bought one, and it was a big one. It was $7.58.
How long did it take her to go through it?
I gave it to her this morning after our walk, and after she ate. She sat there from about 9 a.m. to 1 in the afternoon chewing on that bully stick, and
gone.
she finished it.
Well,
$7.58.
she loved it.
So I just
and
did.
It keeps her from biting us.
Yeah, and it keeps her busy. It's good for her teeth and all that. I get that, but I'm thinking there's got to be a cheaper way. So I do a little Instagram story, and I said, "Hey, any of y'all know where the best place to get bully sticks is? Otherwise known as bull pizzle, bull penis, bull schlong, whatever."
Why are you not changing your voice as you always admonish me to do?
Yeah, I don't know, because we've talked about it so much.
Right.
So anyway, the public service announcement is if you're looking for bull pizzle, what I was told, or bull penis, bull schlong, whatever you want to call it, what I was told is Hollywood Feed, Costco, Chewy.com, and Amazon are probably the best places to get your bull pizzle.
Well, I saw them at Costco.
You have?
Yeah.
How much?
They were, I don't know, $20, $30 because you get a big.
For how many?
I don't remember, honey.
Yeah.
I brought home some chews the other day. Bull pizzles are just expensive anyway. I don't think you can get them in bulk there, maybe for a little bit cheaper, but they're just expensive.
Now I had a lady. She messaged me. She goes, I get mine from Hollywood Feed, or I go to the feed store, like a Tractor Supply or somewhere like that.
Mm-hmm.
She goes, I bought some bull pizzles from I don't know why I'm laughing. It's just the word pizzle. I bought some from a cheap online source. And she said, I was part of this class action suit against this company because they were saying their bull pizzle was US, but it was from overseas. She said it was from China.
Yeah.
And that her dog had to go to the vet, and she spent $2,000 because her dog got sick eating the bull pizzle.
Yeah.
But it wasn't just her dog. It was a bunch of dogs.
Yeah, I remember that. There was a time where you couldn't get any dog treats. You had to look and make sure they weren't from China.
Yeah.
Because there were a lot of dogs I remember that with George, my dog George, from a few years ago. So anyway.
But the reason I like giving her those chews, they're all natural if they're from the US, and they're They don't smell. Like there's odor free, and there's others like I've bought that they kind of stink.
Mm-hmm.
So get the odor
What do
free.
they smell like, babe?
Like a chewed up bulldog. Yeah. And then someone else was telling me, they're giving me all these facts about bull penis. They said, out of one bulldog, you can make 4 bully sticks.
Yeah, because the sticks are very long and slender. So I don't know. I haven't studied pizzles, but yeah, the ones we give them are very long and slender.
Like how long?
I don't know. I mean,
like
I'm sure they stretch them.
They stretch them?
Those are not, honey. We've seen them all size. They must cut them up and stretch them.
No, they do.
Things.
They cut up they cut up some of them, but some of them are like a
really
foot long.
Yeah.
Which that's not surprising.
I don't know.
I mean,
I don't know. And it's also dried.
A bull's a big animal.
Yeah. So I don't know. Well, if you're looking, there you go.
You used to call me your Brahma bull.
I did not. You're making the thing show.
Oh, I'm sorry, babe. Yeah. Okay. So that's my bull pizzle.
It was very helpful.
Public service announcement.
Very helpful information.
Thank you, babe. Thank you. You got anything else?
I told you you're in charge of tonight.
All right, babe. Moving on.
I've already contributed too much, in my opinion.
You have. Should we do Kelly Claps Back at the end, or should we do it now?
Well, I mean, it was part of Selling Sunset.
Okay,
so might as go.
Maybe we'll do it now since it's maybe a little fresher
Let me tell you,
in the listener's mind.
This glass of 14 Hands is delicious.
Hello, Hand.
It is delicious. I don't know what I'll have to look at the bottle, y'all. I think it's one of the blends.
I wish you'd let me tell Hello, Hand. It's not that bad of a story.
No.
Okay. All right. So we were watching, as we mentioned earlier, we're watching Selling Sunset. Let me set the scene for you. For those of you who may be new to this bit, it's called Kelly Claps Back. I have an unfounded reputation of giving Kelly too hard a time.
No, it's founded.
Podcast.
It's very founded.
And it goes something like this. I've been listening to Kelly since 1651, okay? And you, I don't know where you came from, but you need to be nicer to her. You need to be nicer to her. And if you're not, I'm going to find you and I'm going to make you into bull pizzle. Okay? So
the shortest bull pizzle.
I started documenting some of the things Kelly says to me, just so I could open up the kimono so you could reveal all. We could reveal all. You could look behind the kimono as to how Kelly really talks to me. These are accurate. They are read back to Kelly for verification, and this is how it went this week, guys. So we're watching Selling Sunset on Netflix, just quietly in the living room. And there's a scene where the girls, and this is what they usually do, the realtors are in the office with the 2 principals, the 2 brothers. They're all in this one open
2 men who own the agency, and
Yes.
they hire all these hot women to work for them to sell these houses.
Right. And the guys both have their cheaters on. They're hunched over their laptops. They're just banging away on the keyboards. And the girls, as they do on this show, they're just sitting around gossiping.
Because they're doing a television show, as I kept reminding Alan.
At which point, Alan says, I mean, look at these guys. They're just trying to work. And then all these fussy britches are sitting around gossiping. You know what, babe? If that was my office, I'd stand up and say, don't you guys have anything better to do? Why don't you get out there and sell something? Kelly.
That's true.
Yeah, you would. And they'd be like, yeah, all right, dick.
But see, we were just talking, right? Yeah, we're watching a show together. Yeah. That wasn't even that good of a one, but it still made me laugh.
Okay. So yeah, that's how that one went.
The next one came during Selling Sunset too?
So add that one to you burp from your balls up.
No, that's complete. That one stands alone. That one's legendary.
Have you updated your life insurance? What was the one last week?
I don't remember, Alan. They're not that big of a deal.
Okay. And here's the second one. This also happened during the show. There's a scene where there's a woman on the show named Kristen, the long, tall, blonde, long blonde hair.
I think it's Christine.
Christine.
Is that right?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. We binge watched one episode, but
Still
we
learning
still
all
don't know
the
everybody's names. Chriselle, Mary, Christine.
Yeah. So Christine reunited with a ex high school friend of hers.
Right.
A man.
She
And-
was a nerd in high school,
Yeah.
and as was he.
Yes.
And he went on to become this huge millionaire.
He's like a mogul.
Tech guy.
Yeah.
He's like a tech guy. And she's now this really high selling, hot real estate agent.
Right. So she goes to take him to look at this 20,000 square foot house that's going to sell for $40 million.
So we have to assume he can afford it.
And apparently this cat, he's single and he can afford it. Okay.
We have to assume.
Now, every dude has his Achilles heel. This dude, he's rich. He's probably really smart. And during the show, he can carry on a great conversation.
Yeah, he seemed to have a good personality, did he not?
Now, Kelly pointed out that he had a really strange looking beak.
Well, his nose was kind of smashed.
Right.
Very smashed.
Okay. So there's a scene where this man
You know what? And it's just, I wasn't making fun of him.
No.
I just pointed it out.
Right. So there's a scene where the two of them are together, and Kelly says, well, there's Smash Nose. AE, kind of making up, kind of backing
That's
this guy.
You being AE.
I'm AE. Hey, not everybody can be as good looking as your husband, babe. Kelly. Yeah, but imagine how much better looking you'd be if you were loaded.
Yeah. How much better looking would you be if you were loaded? Right? Ladies, you feel me? You feel me on that? Come on.
Okay.
You're good looking as it is, honey.
Mm-hmm.
And you ain't rich. But imagine if you were rich.
I am. Okay. I'm a thousandaire.
But
I
imagine,
have thousands.
Imagine how much hotter you'd be rich. Right?
Unbelievable.
But it's true. It's true. You see all these little squatty guys, those little short, bald-headed guys, they were good looking, but they're getting some really great girls because they're rich.
Mm-hmm.
People suddenly become a lot better looking when they are paying for everything. Sorry, that's life. That is life.
That's not politically correct. There's that meme of the really hot girls in the bikinis on a boat. And it says, if you ever see girls like this, remember who owns the boat. And there's all these big fat old tan guys.
Exactly.
All right,
but, it's those guys that are motivated. The really good looking ones aren't motivated. They're like, I can get plenty of girls just looking as good as I am.
Yeah.
And the rest of them are like, I better make a few million because I want some hot chicks.
Well, there's Kelly Claps back this week, guys. Hopefully somebody out there is keeping track. Someday we're going to read all of the punchlines in a list, and you will be horrified. Mortified, in fact. All right, babe. You got anything else?
Just an inkling. If that's, y'all know what I have to put up with. Y'all hear it on the podcast.
No.
Imagine what it's like in real life.
It's totally normal. It's just.
What's normal?
Me. I'm just some young guy.
Exactly.
What?
This is you on the podcast. Is what I have to put up.
Why are you leaning into me like that?
7 days a week.
You're being threatening right now. Why are you leaning at me like that?
It's the wine. It's the wine.
All right, baby. Want to do some letters?
Yes, I'd love to.
Or you do something, or you do some letters?
Whatever you want.
Let's do some letters.
You are directing the ship.
Oh, let's do this. We'll do some letters. We'll do a little something. And then, I don't know. Let's just talk
about the contest.
I'm going to talk about the contest. Okay, let's do some letters. This one's from Shanna. Shanna says, hi, Kelly and Alan.
Hi.
I heard Kelly talking on the radio about her cracked heels.
Yes.
You were spreading that nationwide?
I did.
Okay.
During this, I had this happen once many, many years ago. It's where your heel just kind of splits during the summer when you wear, sandals nonstop, flip-flops and things like that. I talked about this. Alan does 0 to his feet, and they are like as smooth as baby's butts. His feet are unbelievably smooth, and he does nothing. He has literally caught me on video, and he's posted it to his Instagram of me in there sitting on the bed with one of those files, just sawing my hooves. Filing my heels.
You ever seen 2 big brawny lumberjacks with a rip saw?
Yeah.
Sawing a big piece of redwood in half.
True.
That's what it sounds
I
like
get-
when that pet egg is
It's
on your
true.
heel.
I get regular pedicures. I lotion. I scrape them. I do whatever I can do. And still, my heels get very dry. Somebody told me it was a fungus. I'm like, no, this isn't.
Whoa,
I know,
whoa.
It's not a fungus. This is just that dryness. Look at that. Does nothing to them. Anyway, it's just the dryness. So the other day I was like hurting. I was walking and I was like, my foot hurt so bad. I looked down and I had a split heel. And I'm like, what have I got to do? What do I have to do? So anyway, now you've got, that's what I was telling on the radio, honey.
Oh, sorry. I got back to the letter.
Well, I was explaining the backstory. That's why I was talking about it on the radio.
Okay. I heard Kelly talking on the radio about her cracked heels. I used to have the same problem with thick calluses and skin cracking. Kelly needs to try the Amope, A-M-O-P-E.
I have that.
Oh, Amope electric foot file. It's basically like a little sander for the feet, and it works wonders. If the calluses are thick, it can take a little while to get them smooth, but once they're smooth, the cracks will heal quickly, and all she'll need to do is a good foot cream and continue to use the file for a few minutes a couple of times a week. She'll be good to go. Shannon.
All right, Shannon, I'll try it again. I tried it, and I just really didn't see that much benefit from it. It's like it's this rolling sandpaper, basically, for lack of a better term, but it rolls, and sometimes it can actually burn you if you hold it there long enough. And I'm trying to get in there. I still have it. Maybe I'll try that again. Maybe I didn't give it enough of a chance. I did have the petty egg, and eventually there's the rough side, like the cheese grater side, for lack of a better term, and then the softer, smooth buffing side. Well, the buffing side fell off. It was like glued on there and fell off. So I went and bought.
You broke the apparatus?
I didn't break it. It's just kind of like the glue fell off or something.
How did the glue fall off?
The whole thing fell off. Anyway, it's fine.
It failed under the pressure.
It did. So I went back and bought a new petty egg, and apparently they've improved it. And you know when they improve something and it makes it worse?
I.e. new Coke?
It's awful. The petty egg
Ford
is
Mustang too?
It's so vicious and harsh. I mean, I almost drew blood the first time I used it. I can't use it. So anyway, I've been using all sorts of lotions and creams, but I'll go back at that Amope thing or whatever you're talking about. Maybe I'll give it another try.
Can I add my input on this?
Mm-hmm.
I really have some serious input. When I was in school a long time ago, I used to write. I had a bad habit of writing really hard.
Yeah, I've got a knot in my middle finger from
I still
counts.
do.
Yeah, me too.
So I have a knot on my middle finger on my right hand. I used to have the weirdest, grossest looking knot on my pinky.
More of a callus.
But look, it's totally gone.
Is it it was a callus.
It was a big, nasty callus. And I was always sanding it, biting it, gnawing. It was gross. And
it's gross,
messing with it. I'd use it as like an eraser. It was nasty. And I got so frustrated with it. I'm like, it's never going to go away. And then once I stopped just touching it completely, my skin completely healed. I started to write different. I started to not put pressure on it.
Okay, that's it. You took pressure off it. So you did do something differently.
Well, I did, but I didn't treat it. Like I wasn't sawing on it or anything like that.
Not walk.
I know, but it's not the walking that's causing your cracked heels, is it?
It's the sandals and the stuff in the summertime. The reason I think men's feet stay so much softer is y'all typically wear shoes with socks. Typically.
Not me. I've been barefoot all
I think
summer.
that has a lot to do with it. I think. I don't know.
I hadn't put a shirt or shoes on in 3 months.
Tell me about it. But anyway, so I'm dealing with that, and thank you. I will give that another try.
Okay. Here's another one from Michelle. Oh, Michelle is doing the contest. And she submitted her name. So Michelle is the first one to submit this name, but I just wanted to give you an idea of what people are sending to us.
What contest, honey?
It's the Oaked Barbecue Name Our 3 Smokers contest and Eat at Oaked with Kelly and Alan contest.
Okay, it's a very cumbersome title.
We'll explain how it works in a minute. Michelle says, good evening, Alan and Kelly.
Good evening.
You don't have a promo code, so the least I can do is address you first. I think that's to me.
In your ego.
Yeah. Absolutely love you both. Love the podcast and the nationally syndicated Kid Craddock Morning Show.
Thank you.
As I'm winding down from my son's 8th birthday today. All right. Happy birthday, my man. I'm listening to episode 257. And how do you not name one of the smokers Larry?
Hey.
I'm sure it's already been submitted, but I had to email anyway. It has not been submitted. So Michelle has dibs on Larry as one of the smoker names. Love listening to you both and hope one day we'll join you in Mexico on the podcast family vacation. Have a great evening and congratulations on Oaked. Michelle from Oregon.
Thank you, Michelle. Come on down.
Bend, Oregon. Where do you know where Bend, Oregon is?
It's in Oregon.
Oh, well, I know that. I'm not sure where Bend, Oregon is.
I've never been to Bend, but I'd love to go. I've heard it's beautiful.
Here's another one from Dawn. Dawn says, hi to two of my favorite people.
Hi.
Mostly Kelly.
Aww.
Because I've listened to the Kid Craddock show since the beginning of time.
Thank you.
But Alan, you're catching up quickly. I can recall a camping trip to the hill country in Concan, Texas, not Cancun. Concan.
Concan. I've never heard of that.
With all of my family hearing of kids passing. We were all sitting around a campfire and started crying. Just wanted to share. Wow.
It was, because Kid Craddock, if you're not familiar, if you're listening to the podcast, he was a radio legend in the Dallas area. He was here for decades, and a lot of high school memories were made with him. He was a DJ at proms, and he was the nighttime DJ. And if you've ever listened to the nighttime DJ as a teenage girl, you know how you had a crush on that nighttime DJ. He was that for a lot of people. And he's the reason I moved to Dallas. He hired me to be his co-host in 1994. And unfortunately passed away 7 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's hard to believe it's been 7 years. But Dawn says, the real reason I'm reaching out is because of something Alan said on the anniversary podcast about Zoe and the infamous post of her watching you while you poop. As unamused as your family or others may have been, because I texted him a picture of Zoe looking up at me.
Alan
on a group
texts
text.
Pictures to his family.
Yeah, but they don't see anything but my knees.
But they know you're on the toilet.
What am I, the only person on planet Earth that poops?
But you don't send pictures of it.
Well, that's what I did. As unamused as your family or others may have been, there is something to that. As a female in her early 50s, I've always wondered why our dogs do this. I recently found out that in the wild, dogs, wolves, etc., are at a vulnerable state while pooping.
Yes.
So they typically stand guard until they're finished. So possibly our pups are standing guard. Just thought that was very endearing and worth sharing. Love you both desperately. Dawn from Corpus Christi, Texas.
How about that? They're standing guard.
I think she's exactly right. I think Dawn's right.
Yeah, because I've noticed when our dogs poop, they're kind of looking over their shoulder at us like, is this okay? Well, they're watching their back.
And have you noticed when they both run out together and they're using the side yard, like they won't mess with each other while the other's doing that. Like it's almost like they're showing the other dog respect, like they're kind of looking around, but
they're guarding the path.
Yeah, if one's pooping, the other never like jumps on her or him,
How about that?
Yeah.
Our animals wonderful.
Yeah.
They really are.
Here's another one. This is a good one. I'll try to paraphrase it. It's a little long, but it's another dog. It's a dog question. This one's from Paige. The subject is rescue dog separation anxiety tips. She says, first of all, I'm a huge fan of the podcast. I've been listening since day one.
Thank you.
Good customer.
3 years now. Wow.
Good customer. I've also been listening to the Kid Craddock Morning Show, nationally syndicated, since I was in middle school
Thank you.
Chattanooga, Tennessee. Volunteer state. No, it's a volunteer state.
It is.
Right?
Yes, it is.
I'm now 26 and have just adopted a Dachshund mix rescue dog named Nellie, who is about 5 years old. Okay. Dachshund, Nellie, 5 years old. Rescue. Nellie is super sweet, totally potty trained, loves walks and burying herself under blankets, but she's had a lot of stress with separation anxiety. She won't sleep at night unless she is in bed with me. If I put her in her crate or on her bed on the floor, she whines. Okay. I haven't been able to leave her at home alone because every time I've left, the dog barks piercingly loud and scratches at the door, and I can't let her do that when I live in an apartment with neighbors. And finally, if I'm trying to relax on the couch, instead of coming up to snuggle, she'll sit and stare and whine at me for attention. I try to play with her and her toy, but she doesn't seem interested in that either. I feel like I can't have any time to myself at home and that I can't ever leave the apartment. Yeah, I know that
a needy dog can get frustrating.
Yeah. So she says, I know you guys have adopted 2 rescue dogs now, Larry and Zoe. I've heard about your potty training issues, but can't remember if you had any difficulty crate training them or leaving them alone when you leave. What do you do with your pups when you leave the house? Where do they sleep? And do you have any other tips for separation anxiety? Any advice you have will help. Thanks, Paige. So Paige, I'm not going to pretend like I'm an expert in this situation.
But he has studied the ways of the dog whisperer.
But I've read a lot about it, and we do have 2 rescues. And I think Kelly would agree that Larry has come from being kind of a strange dog with some quirks, like it sounds like your dog Nellie has, to being a pretty normal dog now.
He's gotten so much better, and it had, honestly, I think it had a lot to do with getting another dog.
Getting another dog and
you working with them.
And then the 2 dogs walking.
Yeah, you work with them a lot. I give Alan a lot of credit for that.
So Paige, what I would say is, again, I'm not an expert. You may go to an expert and they may tell you something totally different. But your question is, do we have a problem putting our dogs in the crate? Absolutely not. In fact, if all I have to say with Larry is hop in, Larry, no matter where Larry is in the house, he will run to his crate.
And see, I say get in the crate, and he does that for me.
Okay. Well, get in the crate.
I say get in the crate, and I say get your baby. He goes, gets his little toy. I say, get in the crate, and he goes.
For whatever reason, Kelly doesn't like to use the words I use.
I like get in the crate.
Yeah, so I used hop in with Sydney, which was my dog I had for 17 years.
With Zoe, I do hop in.
Yeah, but I say hop in, Larry will run in. Zoe, we're still working on it, but I get near her crate.
Better.
I'll call her. She'll come to me. I'll gently give her a little, hop in, and she'll get in her crate, no problem, and we'll close the crate. We crate the dogs when we leave because we don't want the 2 dogs running around the house unsupervised. And we crate the dogs sometimes if there's a worker in the house or something like that.
Like when we're doing the podcast.
When we're doing the podcast, when we're trying to concentrate, or when we sleep. We crate the dogs when we sleep. Now, you say the dog won't stay in the crate. The dog has to be with me in my bed.
This is the problem, though, Alan. We're in a house, and I feel for her.
Mm-hmm.
And if she's got a dog that barks nonstop when he's crated, the neighbors are hearing
that. I get it.
And that's a problem.
No, I get it. That's the problem. That's the problem she's having. So all my advice would be is you've got to make Nellie feel like the crate is a great place to be. Like the way we trained our dogs to go in the crate is fun. The crate is a great place. We would play next to the crates with the doors open with all their toys. And when they would go in the crate, make a big deal about it. Good, Nellie, good. And then, close the crate for a little while. Don't ever let her out or him out if, is it he or she? She doesn't say.
Nellie's probably a girl.
Yeah. If Nellie's whining, don't let her out immediately. Let her whine for a little bit and let that time go longer and longer and longer. But the main thing you want to do is make sure that she associates that crate as being a good place, a safe place for her to be.
Yeah. I mean, we leave the crate, once we uncrate them, we leave the doors wide open. Zoe does not yet, but Larry loves to go in there during the middle of the day. And that's where he goes to take naps. He feels safe. We also put like a towel over the crate. So it's like a cave. It's very dark and he likes to just sleep in there. Mm-hmm. But I think there's a lot of truth to just walking them until they're to the point of almost exhaustion, because they'll come home. And that's what Cesar Milan will say, that the majority of a dog's problems can be fixed if you just walk them. It's part of their natural instinct. They like to go out and explore. They like to feel like they're part of a pack, and you are their pack leader. And I mean, there's a lot of common sense to it if you'll just do it. Before Alan came along, I always thought crating a dog was cruel, because with George, my last puppy before Larry, when I crated him that first night, he cried and wanted to come out. And I was like, I can't listen to him cry. And I put him out and never put him back in again, because I thought it was cruel.
But see what Kelly's explaining there, and it's real common because people, and it's your natural instinct. Yeah. You're like, oh my God,
I want to fix it.
Yeah, my dog's whining. He's going to think that I hate him if I don't let him out of the crate. And that's not true. The dog is training you. The dog knows how to get out of the crate. The dog knows if I whine, I'm going to get out of the crate. So you have to reverse that. You have to teach the dog that the crate's a great place to be, and I'm the leader here. And since I'm the leader, you're in the crate when I say you're in the crate, and you're going to follow me around instead of you telling me what to do. See, that's the difference. And that's hard for people to get their heads around sometimes, where they think, oh my gosh, I'm being cruel because I'm putting my dog in the crate. It's not cruel at all. Dogs live in little dens in the wild. Yeah. They like having that little space.
And if Larry's not in the crate, his favorite place to be is underneath the bed, because it's low. It's a low bed, And he just likes being there because it's like a little cave. It's like his little safe place. And that's where he likes to be.
And
So we just have to take that's what I've tried to tell my mom with her new rescue dog, because she's of the opinion that I was, that crates are cruel. She doesn't want to do it. And I gave her the Cesar Millan book. She's like, I don't even want to read it. But, you know, I told Alan, I said, she's in her 70s. She doesn't want to, this is what she wants to do. Let her figure it out with her dog, because, you know, and it's fine. But
and everybody
we have to stop putting human emotions on our dogs.
Right.
That's the thing. We're putting our human emotions on our dogs. They have natural instincts. And if you don't believe it, watch any of these nature programs on Netflix or Disney Plus, and you'll see how animals just have this natural instinct. They know what to do in certain situations. And it's the same with dogs.
Their feelings don't get hurt because you put them in a crate. They're not whining because their feelings are hurt. They're whining because of another issue. The issue with Nellie, what I would say is the first thing you got to do is what Kelly said, and is what Cesar always prescribes, is walk the dog every day for at least 30 minutes. You've got to do that. You've got to wear the dog out, because like Kelly said, because she's read and heard me talk about Cesar.
And it's true, as much as you hate to admit it.
The first thing wolves do in the wild, the first thing dogs want to do in the morning is get up, get out, explore, and then come home. What happens when they come home?
They get fed.
Then they eat. That's what wolves do in the wild.
Alan has a certain thing. You walk the dogs before they eat. And even at night, he was in a habit twice a day. We've kind of fallen off on that for a little bit. But then again, at night, they walk first, then they eat. It's like the reward that's from their hunt.
Yeah, exactly. And Paige, that's part of you turning Nellie around to Nellie thinking, well, I tell Paige that I want out of the crate, or I tell Paige that I want to be in the bed. You're going to turn that around, and you're going to be Nellie's leader, because you're going to take her for a walk every day. She only is going to get fed when you say that she gets fed, and that's after the walk. And then after she does that, after she's calm, after she's wore out and fed, then give her all that attention and affection. You giving her the attention when she whines,
and it has bad behavior,
teaches her to whine.
Yeah.
You giving her attention when she whines and wants out of the crate and in bed, it teaches her, I can get in bed anytime I want.
Right. And we're not perfect. We're still working with Zoe, because Zoe likes to jump on us. And at first I was like, I don't care if the dog jumps on me or not.
No, you don't want that.
But it ends up, that's why her previous owner surrendered her. She was an older woman. The dog was constantly jumping on her and getting on her feet and stuff. And as an older woman, she could really get hurt. And with me, you know, if I'm wearing shorts or a dress or something and Zoe jumps up on me, and I love her and everything, but her nails are scratching my skin and drawing blood, and that's not cool. So there are things you have to do. You know, we're not perfect. She's still learning. But, you know, getting one of Cesar Millan's book that's what Alan's gotten his wisdom from.
I swear by it. The book I read was called Caesar's Way. And it's really simple if you read it and you think about it. And you think about, you know, people that they look at their dog and they think that the dog is like a kid.
Yeah, you want to put it in little cute outfits,
right? Or a baby,
and carry it in little strollers and things like that. That is not instinctive to an animal.
It's not instinctive to the dog. What the dog wants most is to be treated like a dog.
Right.
I want to be part of it.
They thrive.
Right. They thrive when they know who's the leader here. And it's okay if I'm not the leader. I just want to know who the leader is.
It's the same with children. Yeah. You know, they rebel and stuff, but children thrive when they know their boundaries.
Exactly.
And it's the same with dogs. They thrive when they are within their boundaries as an animal, and not as these human characteristics we're putting on them.
Exactly.
It's really been a shift in my own thinking with animals too.
I know we're going on and on.
I know. It's too much.
Just
too much.
One more.
We should do a whole podcast
on
that.
But one more quick point. Cesar says, think about who a puppy's first leader is in the world.
His mother.
His mother. Have you ever seen a mother with a bunch of puppies?
Yes.
It's quiet. The mother, if a puppy strays too far away, what's the mother do? The mother goes and gets the puppy, brings the puppy back. So instantly the puppy knows, oh, I have a leader, and the leader kind of tells me what my boundaries are. There are things I can't do. And that's how they're programmed. That's how they're programmed in their DNA. So if somebody is not giving them those boundaries, they're going to say, okay, this pack doesn't have a leader. It's got to have a leader, because the pack has to have a leader. And if she's not going to be a leader, I'm going to be the leader. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's where a lot of people get into problems with their dogs.
It's so incredible. And I mean, it's really like amazing when you start putting all the pieces together and see, oh,
It's
God,
interesting, yeah.
This works because it's the instinct of the animal world.
But hey, not judging people who sleep with their dogs, because every once in a while we do it.
Oh yeah, and then we don't get a good night's sleep.
Well, and different things work for different people, but I swear by Caesar's way. So that's just me.
As a special treat, we let the dog sleep with us, and then Larry's fine. It's Zoe, the puppy, still.
She likes to move
all over
around.
our faces. Yeah. Hey, real quick, I've been getting a lot of compliments on my hair lately, babe. I don't know if you've noticed that.
It's long, it's flowing,
it's long, and it's strong.
and it's chestnut.
With my hair, I have certain issues that need to be addressed, and what my hair needs are not what your hair needs are. Everybody has a different situation. Well, because there's no one size fits all when it comes to shampoos and conditioners, you should have products that are suited just for your specific unique needs. So you're not disappointed when that promise on the bottle doesn't come through for you. And that's what I love about Pros shampoo and conditioners, and a whole line of hair products, by the way, because they know that there's more to you than just your hair type. Pros has given over 1 million consultations with their in-depth hair quiz, which is how I got started. You go online, you just answer some questions. And I was kind of surprised by some of the questions. They asked, like, what's your zip code? Because where you live, really does affect your hair's needs. Your diet, the amount of exercise you get. Do you work out to the point where you're sweating every day? Or are you like me? You're sitting on the couch and, binge watching Selling Sunset. My hair would have a different need than yours. And that's what I love about it, because with the algorithms and that questionnaire you fill out with Pros, they have over 50 billion formula combinations, a unique blend of ingredients that will work specifically for you, specifically for me, to address your hair needs. For me, it was like, I color my hair. I'm a little bit older. I don't work out a lot. Here's the zip code I work in. It's brutally hot in the summer. So now I have a formula specifically for me. And I also use a pre-shampoo mask once a week, which is really cool. So if you are not 100% positive that Pros is the best hair care that you have had after you've taken the quiz, received your products, they will take them back, no questions asked.
And Pros is the healthy hair regimen with your name all over it. Take your free in-depth hair quiz and get 15% off your first order today. All you got to do is go to pros.com/sandwich. That's PROSE.com/sandwich for your free in-depth hair quiz and 15% off.
Do it.
Love Pros.
I love online quizzes.
Okay, let's bring it home for Jerome with a little something here, babe.
Yeah, we got to tell you about this contest that's going on. We do, I think last week when we were talking about it, we didn't have a deadline in mind, I think, but now we do.
Well, before we do that, we'll finish with the contest.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought that's what you're doing.
Well, I am, but I started the podcast by saying there's some big happenings that have been happening at the restaurant. They got the countertop in. They've got a lot of the kitchen equipment in. They were putting up backsplash. Just a lot of, you got to try out a bar stool, the leather bar stools from Restoration Hardware, dime, but
not cheap. But they're comfortable. You posted up at a bar before.
You want a comfortable bar stool, and Oak will have them. But one of the big things that happened was they delivered all the wood for the smokers. Mm-hmm. Now, there are 3 big smokers that are going to be at the barbecue restaurant.
That's the flavor of the meat.
Yeah, it does. They delivered all this wood, and I mentioned, I heard this buzz. All these people were like, saw the wood being delivered, and I listed the top 10 comments and questions I overheard by bystanders outside Oak. Okay? You ready?
I'm so ready.
Okay, number 10. These are all things I heard people say. Number 10, I've never seen that much wood. Number 9, your wood is fabulous. Number 8, does your wood create a lot of heat? Number 7, does your wood add flavor? Number 6, who supplies your wood? Uh-huh. Number 5, I'm just fighting through it, babe. Do you handle your wood? Number 4, is smoked wood meat more flavorful? Number 3, is the restaurant known for your wood? Number 2, can I sear wood smoking meat?
Uh-huh.
And then the number one thing I heard when the people saw the wood pile was,
what'd they ask, babe?
Do you use your wood to smoke meat in the morning or in the evening?
All right. There you go. People want to know.
They want to know, babe. They want to know about the wood.
All right.
But yeah, the restaurant
it's coming along.
It's coming along. It's going to open hopefully 6 to 8 weeks. So we're having a contest. The contest is really simple. We need help naming the smokers.
It's a tradition, apparently. We didn't know this because we've never done this before.
Didn't know this. But we have 3 big smokers, so we need 3 names for the smokers. Like the letter that I read earlier, someone said, hey, I think a good name for one of the smokers would be Larry. That's as good a submission as any other.
Why not?
It can be. I've heard. I don't want to give away people's ideas, but they've been real creative. There've been a lot of different ideas. So we need you to submit. You can submit 1 to 3 names, but we're going to pick a name for each of the smokers.
Right.
Whoever.
What if the same person picks all 3? They're that good.
Well, then they're just that good.
They're that good.
Chances are we'll have 3 different ones.
Probably.
But all you got to do is send your names to podcast@kellyandallen.com. That's one thing you got to do.
Yes, KELLIE and ALLEN.
Yes. Send your submission
Don't do
there.
that.
Send your submissions there. And then follow @OakedBBQ on Instagram. That's OAKDBBQ.
Yeah, there's no E in there, right? It's fancy like that.
And you better be following @A Sandwich and Some Lovin' on Instagram too. Hopefully you're already doing that. But follow Oaked on Instagram. Oaked has a Facebook, so go check that out and follow there or like their Facebook page.
Yeah.
And hopefully you're already following us on Facebook. So
why not?
And follow us there as well. Okay? That's all you got to do.
The requirement is for the Instagram, right?
Yeah, the requirements for the Instagram. Right. So we'll pick 3 winners, maybe 1, maybe 2, maybe 3, probably 3. And then the winner will get dinner with Kelly and I at Oaked with cocktails provided by Chef Lane. Chef Lane is the pit master and the head honcho at the restaurant.
So get those submissions in. The deadline to enter, we have an official deadline.
September 18th.
September 18th. So quite some time to be creative with this.
Yeah, there's a lot of time.
We also know people are listening to the podcast, not always necessarily the minute it drops. We appreciate those of you who do. But in case you're listening, the deadline to enter is September 18, 2020.
Yes. That's good.
And then we'll announce the winner the following podcast after that, right?
But yeah, I'm sure that's how we usually do it.
Okay.
And then we can coordinate with the winners. And
at a time that works for everybody.
Now, listen, guys, if you're from out of state and you win, I mean, we're happy to have you, but we can't get you here. You're gonna have to get to Dallas.
Airfare is not included.
Yeah, we'll feed you and get you drunk and all that, or get your buzz on at least. But we're not gonna. We can't get you here. So for those of you outside DFW.
Hey,
please
enter anyway.
Please enter, and you may win, but that's just a disclaimer. All right, babe. You got anything else?
No, babe. As I told you, this is your itinerary for tonight.
We'll see.
Thank you very much.
You see what happens when you let me be in complete control of a podcast. We do a lot of Kelly claps back, a lot of innuendo, a lot of wood jokes, a lot of. How many times can you say pizzle or penis?
Right. Maybe I'll take over again next week.
We do a lot of that.
Maybe we'll try that.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah. Maybe we will.
We'll see.
Because, hey, some podcasts, let's face it, I just like to kind of mail it in and listen to you yammer on.
Yammer?
No.
Is that what you call it?
No. I have fun no matter how we do it.
You have fun listening to me?
Yeah.
Yammer?
No, this is fun, babe.
I enjoyed it. Man, my wine was good, y'all. I'm telling you, this 14 Hands is not bad.
Well, maybe next time you'll let me.
Why are they not sponsoring our podcast? It's that good.
I will tell you again the Hello Hand story in a clean way.
No.
In a clean way, and then our listeners hopefully can hear it next time.
You know, it's so vulgar. It's too vulgar.
All right. Well,
I don't know how he can clean it up.
That'll give them something to look forward to next time. Well, I love you desperately.
Oh, you know what I'm thinking of?
Oh.
I'm thinking you're doing the Mama Yoda story. Mama Yodi? Was it Mama Yodi?
Oh, I can't.
That's the one that's too
no,
vulgar.
I can't.
That's the one. You know what? I was confusing two stories. Maybe you can do Hello Hand.
I can do Hello Hand.
You can do Hello Hand. I was confusing that with your Mama. Is it Mama Yodi?
Mama Yodi. Yeah.
Mama Yodi. I don't
Mama
think you
Yodi.
can tell the Mama Yodi
I can't
story.
tell Mama Yodi.
No, that was my bad. I was confusing two stories.
Mama Yodi is only for our very best customers.
Mama Yodi.
Come to Oaked one time, and someday AE's up there at about 1 a.m.
It's bad.
And yeah, I need an Uber to drive home. Somebody's calling me an Uber, and like on the way out, I'm telling hello.
And the
Mama
thing
Yodi.
is it's like when you finally, if we build it up enough, you'd be like, that's the story. But still, it's so gross.
Yeah.
And inappropriate. The Hello Hand's not as bad. I was confusing the two stories.
What about Hey Guys, look at this?
That's not even a funny story. I don't enjoy that one. Yeah, I've heard it a lot. I've heard a lot of the same stories.
We're just talking about stuff that nobody knows what we're talking about now. So let's sign off.
Okay.
All right. Love you desperately.
I love you.
I love our listeners desperately.
All right.
I love the ones.
Oh yeah, I love you too. I'm sorry.
I love the ones that fought through 1 hour and 11 minutes of this buffoonery.
Are you serious?
Got their money's worth tonight.
Wow.
But hey,
dang, sorry y'all.
Hey,
El Presidente is not going to be happy with this.
Hey, I champion the listener. I don't gyp the listener. Well, you guys need to do about 20 minutes.
Oh, he's going to be so mad. We could have gotten 3 podcasts out of this.
Well, you guys are just, I don't know what you're doing.
Sorry, Sean.
Hey, Sean, this is Sean Nunn. We're going to nip this podcast in the bud. But I'm sure we'll podcast again real soon.
Next week, as a matter of fact.
That's real soon. And in the immortal words of the great Keanu Reeves, life is good when you have a good sandwich.
Bye. I can't believe we talked that long.
That's what happens when you let me drone on, yammer on.
Get that away, please. I got to do the podcast title and description on this nonsense.
A sandwich and some wood?
Yeah, I can do that.
Night, Sarah. Thank you, Terry. Love you desperately. Thank you, Julie. Hey, what was going on, guys? We had there was a debate going on in the chat room.
About what?
Moderators, what happened? Julie, Michael, what happened? We had somebody saying we should be doing something different tonight or something. What happened? I want to hear the drama.
What do we start off with? Kelly and Alan just are late to the party.
So now we can't even like decide what we want to watch. Like we have to do that. I didn't know somebody was upset we weren't watching the DNC.
Well, because we're on here and we're going to go.
No, but they were upset that we were doing this instead of watching.
Why
DNC.
do they know we're doing this? Why aren't they watching?
No, because they were here for a minute and then they pieced out.
That's fine. There's like multiple nights of this.
Oh.
And FYI, I hit the record button before we came in here so we can go back and watch it. Tell them that.
Oh, and then I think there was shade thrown on our way of life. #burbs, #sheltered. Wow, guys. It's even getting nasty in the chat room.
What?
Ooh.
What?
The person that said we should be watching the DNC threw shade on our lifestyle.
What's our lifestyle?
Burbs, #burbs,
What's wrong with
#burbs.
what's wrong with
I don't know.
burbs?
I like it here. I don't know.
Are they going to have the same amount of enthusiasm for the Republican National Convention when it airs?
Hey,
are they here to address that?
Hey,
or are they gone in a huff?
Are
you going to watch both conventions with equal enthusiasm and fervor?
I'm just a dumb podcaster.
I tell Alan, I said, look, it's important to watch both sides. Do I not say this all the time?
Yeah, you do.
You can believe whatever you want to believe, but it's also important to hear what the other side has to say. You have to understand where are they coming from? Why are they seeing the same issue so completely different than I'm seeing it? And it's important to hear both sides. I think to have a well-formed opinion. Why do you believe the way you do? Why do you believe the way you do? Are you able to back up what you believe, or is just what it is? So I think it is important to listen to other opposing opinions. So I'm not watching the DNC in its entirety. I won't watch the Republican National Convention in its entirety. Because let's be honest, a lot of it's very boring. But there are some things that I think are important to see and hear. And it's kind of fun, the pageantry of it all. I wish it was in a big convention center. It's a lot more fun. But,
I mean, we've been keeping up, but
we've been absolutely keeping up every night.
You
But we have a podcast to do. It's our job.
you talk about yammering on. I'm not going to watch every second of that
Oh my
clown show.
gosh.
Give me a break. All right, guys.
Anyway, but they're criticizing for living in the burbs?
Yeah.
Where should we live? In the heart of the city?
I don't know. I
You
don't.
can't get a yard in the city.
I'm just reporting the news. Don't kill the messenger. I didn't make the rules. I'm just a slave to the rules. Sorry, we'll try to live somewhere else. Where can we live? Where should we live? The country, the inner city. Where's the best place to live? I don't know. We found a home we liked. I'm sorry. Schools, pretty good schools. Close to a grocery store and the gas station.
Cheaper gas, I know that.
Yeah,
Gas in
yeah.
downtown Dallas is horribly expensive.
I don't know. All right, guys. Enough about that. That's right, Angie. That's right, Jana. Sorry, Jana. Jana. Where'd I get Jana? Jana. Thank you, Mel. Love you, Mel. Nobody loves me. I know you do. You don't think I'm chopped liver.
So we did Selling Sunset.
Selling Sunset. We did Kelly Claps Back. We did the top 10 comments and questions about the wood. We did letters. Oh, and a lot of dog stuff. The dogs pooping and then the separation anxiety. Oh, and the chews, and a lot of dog stuff, and then the bully sticks. I.e., how many ways can you say penis?
About dealing with dog anxiety.
Yeah. A sandwich. Michael always comes up with some good ones. A sandwich and some pizzle. You like that better than wood? A sandwich and some wood or a sandwich and some pizzle? God, so gross. Thank you, Mel. It's okay, Michael. It's going to be it's going to be a soft open, and who knows, the way things change, we're saying 6 to 8 weeks. Hope that happens, but you never know what'll happen. Things could get way worse. They could get way better. I mean, COVID time, it can switch like that. So.
And it's an Alan, and Alan gives, what's the 10 things?
10 things overheard when they saw the wood.
Shares the 10.
The wood pile.
The top 10 things overheard when somebody dropped off his wood. What is it?
When they saw my wood at
they
Oat.
saw his
wood. So stupid. Ah.
It makes no sense, but I'm putting it in because I've had a whole big pour of wine and I don't care. And Alan shares the top 10 things ever heard when people.
Hey, do we know the code for FrameBridge?
Well, it's either going to be it's probably sandwich. Always try sandwich.
Yeah,
Kelly.
Really.
That's 9 times out of 10. It's either going to be sandwich or Kelly. Sometimes it's not a code; it's a web address. Every once in a while. So if you go, I don't have it in front of me right now. Just for us all talking here. So if you go to framebridge.com/sandwich, and if that doesn't work, then you go to framebridge.com, and then when you get to checkout in the promo code enter sandwich.
It's one of those two. Except
it's always those two.
Except
When it's Kelly,
No, when it's Brooklinen.
that's Kelly.
Right, yeah.
Brooklinen.com
Brooklinen is
promo
Kelly.
code Kelly.
Right.
But normally it's going to be sandwich. So try a couple of variations. Try the web address with the slash
Julie,
sandwich.
look at what Julie
What
said.
did she say?
Wow. Julie. Can't believe that. Julie said, it's not Alan. I'll tell you that. Tell you what
Never Alan.
Yeah. Tell you what it's not.
Y'all, are y'all watching Selling Sunset? Is anybody talking about that in the chat? Are y'all watching that? It's really good.
Which one?
Selling Sunset.
Oh, Selling Sunset. Yeah.
We just watched it today.
Oh, it's great.
We're going to blow through season 2 and season 3 before the weekend, I'm sure.
It's so
And then you have to wait, for however long for the next season. That's the hard part.
It's so pretentious.
It's funny. It's interesting. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
But some of those people house hunting were like, those were actors.
I mean, any show that's got a dude in it from France whose name's Romaine, I mean, that's got to be kind of legit.
So ridiculous.
I see nothing ridiculous about that. I think it's legit. Kara, I'm down here at the bottom of the dog pile. Michael's kicked me in the nuts. Julie jumped on the pile.
Right,
and then here's Kara. She comes running in at the end and then jumps
Right.
right on top. And I'm down at the bottom.
What
No,
happened?
they're making fun of me
Why?
because I don't have a code like you.
Oh, that's because they know it hurts your feelings.
Unreal.
I'll tell them not to give it to me anymore. I'll tell them to give it to you.
No, don't do that. Yeah, Kara, that's what she did. She belly flopped on me. And then, like I do with the boys, like we play steamroller and she just like steamrolled me.
Who, me?
No, Kara.
Oh.
She belly flopped and then steamrollered me. Time's at 9:45.
Yeah, we got to go because we got to watch the highlights from the national convention for the Democratic Party.
Hashtag sheltered. Hashtag Burbs.
That's what we're going to do before we go to bed. If we want to know, we got to know what's going on. You got to know what's happening.
Very disappointed.
Can't watch everything 24/7, but you can record it and watch the highlights or look it up on YouTube or Twitter the next day, right?
Does it ever bother you that, sometimes people are disappointed in things you say, but then there's sometimes people are disappointed in where you chose to buy a house?
Honey, you're reading too much into it.
Wow.
You're reading too much into that.
Wow. All right, guys. Have a good night. We will we will talk to you soon. Guys, dogpiling me. It's all right. I'll get you next time.